Hello and welcome back to Wednesday Words on Wednesday the 29th of April. I'm so glad you're here. I want to start today with a question, and I'd love you to actually sit for a moment rather than just thinking past it. When did you last actually check in with your body? Not at the gym, not when something hurt, not when you were so exhausted you had no choice but to stop. Just notice what you are carrying right now. Whether your shoulders are up around your ears, whether your jaw is tight, whether you've been holding your breath without realising it. Many of us live very much from the neck up. We're in our heads, thinking, planning, scrolling, doing, and somewhere along the way we stop noticing what's happening in the rest of us. Today I really want to talk about that because our bodies are communicating with us all the time, and so often, especially when we're stressed, anxious or burning out, the body knows before the mind does. Amazing, isn't it? So let's slow down for a few minutes and talk about how to start listening again. This week's Wednesday Words is about body language and whether you are listening to what your body is telling you. Here's something I notice a lot, both in my work as a counsellor and honestly in my own life. We tend to treat our bodies like vehicles, something that carries our head from place to place. We feed it, we sleep in it, and we push it until it stops cooperating. But we really don't listen to it. And the thing is, when we're going through difficult periods, stress doesn't just live in our thoughts, it lives in our bodies too. Anxiety isn't only a mental experience. Burnout isn't only just about feeling tired of work. These things are genuinely physical. They show up in our muscles, our breathing, our gut, and our sleep. Sometimes long before we've consciously even registered that something is wrong. How many times have you looked back on a difficult period and thought, actually, I was exhausted for months before I even admitted it? Or my body was giving me signs and I kept overriding them. Don't worry, that's not weakness. That's just what we do. We're taught to push through, to keep going, to cope, come what may. But there is real value in learning to tune back in. And that's what I want to explore today. What then does your body actually say to you when you're struggling? Let me share with you some of the things I hear about in the counselling room, and maybe notice yourself as I go through these. Firstly, tension. This is probably the most common one. Tight shoulders, a clenched jaw. People experience this often at night or when trying to concentrate. At first, you don't realise what's causing these things. You can feel tension in your fists, for example, you didn't even realise you were making. You can feel a permanent knot between your shoulder blades. Massage is really good for that, by the way. Tension is the body bracing, so it's getting ready for the fight, preparing for something. And when we're living with ongoing stress or anxiety, that bracing can become our default setting. We stop noticing it because it feels normal. Then we have breathing. Pay attention to your breathing right now, just for a second. Is it slow and deep, or is it shallow? High in the chest? Are you holding it slightly? Shallow breathing is one of the most reliable signs that our nervous system is activated. And because we do it unconsciously without realizing, it often goes completely unnoticed. Sleep and appetite is another one. When we're stressed or anxious, sleep and appetite are often the first things to shift, and not always in the way we might think. It can be subtle. Waking up at 3 a.m. with your mind already racing, not feeling really hungry until mid-afternoon, and then craving sugar or comfort food and not knowing why. These are not character flaws. They're your body responding to what's going on and what it's experiencing. Then we have gut feelings, literally. There's a reason we talk about gut feelings. The gut and the brain are intimately connected. They're in constant communication. That's something else that I find amazing. And when we're anxious or under stress, the gut often reflects that. Nausea before a difficult conversation, an unsettled stomach when something feels wrong, digestive issues that flare up during stressful periods. Stress doesn't cause irritable bowel syndrome, for example, but it can make it far worse. Your body is trying to tell you something. Then there's fatigue that doesn't fix itself just through sleep. This is really worth paying attention to. If you're sleeping reasonably, at least, and you wake up in the mornings still feeling tired, that is a signal. That kind of exhaustion often isn't about physical rest. It's about emotional and nervous system depletion. It's a hallmark of burnout, and it can creep up very slowly. Finally, we have numbness or disconnection. Sometimes the signal isn't pain or tension. It's the absence of feeling. Some clients tell me going through the motions, like feeling a bit detached from yourself or your life, like you're watching yourself from a slight distance, or like you're watching a video and not really in it. In therapy, we sometimes call this dissociation. It can be the body's way of protecting us when things feel like too much. It is worth being gentle with yourself if this resonates, but it's also worth noticing. If our bodies are giving us all these signals, why then do so many of us miss them? I think partly it's cultural. We live in a world that rewards productivity and pushing through. Many of us learn that feelings, including physical ones, are something to manage, suppress, or override. Partly it's practical. Life is busy, we all know that. When you've got work and family and responsibilities and a to-do list that never ends, slowing down to check in with yourself can feel like a luxury you can't afford. And partly, this is something I want to say gently, tuning in can feel scary. Because, well, what if you don't like what you find? What if you stop and realise you're really not okay? And that fear is completely understandable. But staying disconnected does not make the feelings go away. It just means they find other places to surface, often through our bodies. It's also worth knowing that for some people, particularly those who've experienced trauma or who have lived through long periods of high stress, disconnecting from the body can be a protective response, a way of coping. If that's you, be patient with yourself. Reconnecting is a slow and gentle process, and it may be something worth exploring in counselling. I want to offer you some simple ways of checking back in. These aren't techniques you need to master, they're just small invitations you can notice. Firstly, we have the 30-second body scan. That's all, really, 30 seconds. You can do it right now if you like. Just pause, close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and slowly move your attention right from the top of your head down to your toes. Notice what's there. Tension, warmth, tightness or heaviness. You're not trying to fix anything, just noticing. That tiny act of attention is more powerful than it sounds. It starts to rebuild the connection. Secondly, name what you notice. When you do notice something, even just saying internally, my shoulders are a bit tense, or I feel a bit heavy today, creates a tiny bit of separation between you and the part that's feeling. It shifts you from being inside it to be observing it. It sounds small, but naming that part of you is the beginning of understanding. Thirdly, I want to offer you one slow breath. You don't need a full mindfulness practice. You don't even need an app or a meditation cushion. One slow exhale, longer than your inhale, can genuinely shift your nervous system. It signals to your body that you're safe, that it can soften just a little. Try it. Whenever you notice you're holding tension, I often do it in traffic jams. Really good for that. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. You can ask yourself, what do I need right now? This is one of my favourite questions and I use it a lot in my work. Not what do I need to get done, but what do I need right now, here and now, in this moment? Water? Fresh air? Quiet? Warmth? To move? Or maybe to rest? Your body often knows. And we've often trained ourselves to ignore the answer. Starting to ask the question is the first step. And finally, we have movement. Not for fitness, but to feel yourself. Even a short walk, not for steps. Just to feel yourself moving through space. It makes such a difference when you're in your body rather than your head for a few minutes. Movement is one of the most effective ways to discharge stress from the nervous system. Even gentle movement matters. That's what I wanted to share with you today. You don't need to become a mindfulness expert. You don't need to overhaul anything. You just need to be a little bit curious about yourself. Your body has been talking to you all along. It's been patient, and it's worth starting to listen. Not because something is wrong, but because you matter. And the signals in your body are sending you messages that are worth paying attention to. This week, if you're willing to try something, just one 30-second check-in, pause at some point during your day. Notice what's there. You don't have to do anything with it. Just notice. And if you'd like to, I'd love to hear what you found in the comments. Even just one word. What did you notice? Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. If this resonated with you, please do share it with someone who might need to hear it. You never know who might be grateful. These are your Wednesday words from Adapt Counselling, where we learn to adapt with awareness, patience and care. Until next time, listen to your body. It's telling you more than you think. Bye-bye now.